And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. This is the series where we talk about those brand new #1 issues, new character debuts, new story arcs, and the like. And this is for the last books of October, October 29th, 2025. All those first issues, and there are quite a few actually. So we're going to talk about those. I also have, of course, as usual, some recaps from the books that came out this week that I talked about on last week's episode. And if you'd like to watch more content like this, you should go check out my good friend Mike Spider Slayer's series First Issue Fridays over on Comic Book Corner 2.0. He does a series where he goes through League of Comic Geeks and shows all the #1 issues, the variant covers, the preview pages, and gives his opinion and everything. It's a fun series as well, so go check that out on Comic Book Corner 2.0. And I actually read a lot of books already, so I've read like 6 of the firsts. So we're going to jump into those without wasting any time. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Warwolf issue #1. This is from Mad Cave Studios. This is written by Steve Orlando, and with art by Marco Perugini. So Steve Orlando writes the Scarlet Witch series that has been going on for several volumes now, and I absolutely love that series. So I definitely wanted to try this out because it's Steve Orlando. So the concept basically is this kid gets bullied because he doesn't want to hurt a lizard, and all these other kids are like teasing him with this lizard and everything, and then they beat him down because he doesn't want this lizard to get hurt. So he grows up trying different jobs. It's kind of unclear the correlation a little bit because you do a drastic time jump, and then he's like taking on all these jobs, and most of them are in some kind of law enforcement, the army, etc. And he just fails out of all of them until he gets a security guard job. And he's like, I can't fail this one. So he takes this one seriously. He's the only one. All his, other security guards are falling asleep all the time and everything. And in the midst of this, there is an alien invasion, and he has to step up and kind of take them out. And of course, that leads to other things. So, and they happen to be like lizard, reptilian aliens. So he flashes back like to his childhood where, oh, I'm supposed to hate lizards. It was a little unclear the correlation between, oh, this beatdown caused him to just kind of give into peer pressure, but he sucks at everything. It was a weird transition. So I didn't love that. And, I thought it was a fun story. Um, if you put aside like all the nitpicks, it's or that I guess it's just that one nitpick. If you put that aside, it was a fun issue and it, kind of goofy way. So I had fun with it. I don't know if it was enough for me to continue on with it though. But I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I read it because it was a fun time. And but yeah, if you like alien invasion stories, if you like unlikely anti-heroes, that kind of thing, this might be for you. So go check it out. Next up, we are going to talk about Green Lantern issue #28. This is the beginning of a brand new story arc. We just came out of the Starbreaker Supremacy, and now we are jumping into something else. Guy Gardner finds this page in the Book of Oa that just has Hal Jordan's name written really big. And in the meantime, like Hal Jordan is just doing Hal Jordan stuff. He's on Earth. He's out in the field. He's supposed to be taking some time for R&R or whatever. He's supposed to be taking it easy. He doesn't, of course, because he's Hal Jordan, and so he's off, saving the world and doing all this stuff. And he gets called back to Oa to find out what this is. He sees these pages or this page, and it does something to him. And that whatever happens to him, whatever he sees, whatever he experiences, he doesn't have recollection of it, but the Guardians notice it and they're on high alert now. And now there's this mystery, there's this secret that nobody knows, but even the Guardians don't know. They know they know something, but they don't know what it is because pieces of their memories are still missing. So they're like, we have to find this out. They'll find out everything, yada yada. So they're still keeping secrets. It's like old school Guardians and stuff. Not my favorite issue of this run, but it is a decent start to a new arc, and you open up with a mystery. So yeah, it wasn't my favorite issue, but I do like where it's headed from here. So we'll see how the story progresses. Next up, we have The Last Wolverine, issue number 1. As the rest of these books I'm talking about are the Age of Revelation tie-in books, so if you're not interested in that, you can fast forward a little bit. But yeah, I'm covering the next 4 books are all the Age of Revelation books that came out this week. So The Last Wolverine, I was on the fence whether I was going to get this or not. I decided I'm going to try all of these. I tried this first issue. And yeah, I should have trusted my instincts. I'm probably not going to come back for the second issue of this. It was fine. There was nothing, like really wrong with it. I just don't really love the character. It was interesting, some of the developments in this issue. So we get the backstory of how he becomes Wolverine, basically, because he sometime in the future teams up with Wolverine. He's got the yellow and blue on as well as Wolverine and stuff, and they're like a duo. And then the Age of Revelation happens. Whatever happened to Wolverine happens, and he tries to take Wendigo out. So Wendigo tries to wipe off the tarnish of that Wolverine name, make it mean something again. He's stationed in Vancouver. He's doing good. He's a big hero there. Everybody loves him and all this stuff. But we also get to see another X-Men. We get to see Nightcrawler, what's become of him in the future, which was fun. That's the part I really liked. And going forward, we find out that, something personal about Wolverine, and maybe there's a way to save him from what's happened to him. So that is interesting. I just don't know if it was enough for me personally, just because I never really gravitated towards this character. As a matter of fact, I kind of dropped Wolverine when this arc was going on because I just didn't love it. So not for me, but if you are a big fan of this Wendigo character, you'll definitely want to check this one out. Next is X-Men Book of Revelation, issue number 1. And this one was, at the beginning, it was like, okay, this is a little bit slow. These are characters I don't really know. Obviously I know Revelation, I know Fabian Cortez, but you had someone from Morocco, you had this new kid that was coming up and everything. The main reason I picked this one up is because I knew it had Kitty Pryde. They are dealing with the ghost of Philadelphia. This little girl has told these ghost stories about this ghost that whispers to you in your sleep and all this stuff. And one of the choristers has died. So Revelation takes this little girl, Elbecca, I think is her name, and decides to make her the new chorister. And Fabian is not happy with this because his place in the hierarchy is threatened by this little child who he thinks is stupid and undeserving and all this stuff. Anyway, so we build up. We've got a messenger from Morocco at the behest of Apocalypse wants to deliver Doug a message. It seems like we're gearing up for a war between Apocalypse and Revelation, which, you could see that coming. But all the while, we've got the ghost of Philadelphia whispering throughout the issue. And finally, we do get to see Kitty Pryde. And where that's headed is interesting. It's her appearance, her, presence in this book that's going to keep me continuing this book. Otherwise, I probably would skip this one just because it is just a lot of talking heads. It's a lot of build up to something that's probably going to happen in elsewhere, but we'll see. I do love Kitty Pryde, and I like her entrance into this and the character that she is kind of with during this. I think it makes sense. I think it'll be an interesting story, so we'll see. Then we have Radioactive Spider-Man, issue number 1. It's Spider-Man, of course. I'm reading this, and this is, I've been forgetting to say who the creative teams are on these. Oh, was it Joe Kelly? I think it's Joe Kelly. So obviously Peter Parker is still in the mix. We know that from the solicitation, everything, that he has dosed himself with radiation to stave off the effects of the virus, the X gene virus, that apparently he's one of the unlucky ones that it's trying to kill him instead of mutate him. So he ends up mutating himself. And, he's still trying to be a hero and everything. He wasn't around, and apparently he showed up where he wasn't expected to be. And so he jumps in and in the process kind of causes some trouble for himself. And we find out, what his relationship status is, who he's with, which is kind of interesting. And by the end of the issue, he has done a lot of damage to himself, but he is still ready to, head into battle because he's still the same selfless Peter Parker that he always was. And also there is a twist with the villain I don't want to spoil because it's pretty big. Not villain, but this OP character that something happened to them that it's like, oh man, that's rough. So it's a very interesting twist. I knew it was going to be one of his supporting cast. I won't say which one, but it was very interesting to find out what exactly happened to this person and how that's going to play into this story going forward. But as far as a Peter Parker story, I thought it was pretty solid. I actually enjoyed this. So yeah, that is Radioactive Spider-Man issue 1. And then finally, we have Omega Kids issue 1. I actually did a TikTok review on this. So if you want to go check that out, go to at Only Good Comics on TikTok and check that out. I tried to break that down as succinctly as possible. So I'll keep this brief as well. But basically, it's Quentin Quire with his spy network of young psychics. Basically, their whole mission is taking out rebels before they can carry through with their plans by creating some immaterial psychic world for them to play out the plans in their heads. And we learn that each one of these rebels, they have a piece of the plan but not the whole plan, so they can't be all taken down. But their psychic world kind of fools them into thinking they're actually carrying out their plan so they can thwart it before it begins. And they do so in unsavory ways, of course. And we learned a little bit about these kids, and one in particular seems pretty twisted. And Quentin Quire, we learn a pretty darn big secret about Quentin Quire here in the way that he is actually being handled himself. And that was quite the twist at the end of the issue. And I thought it was pretty cool the way that happened. We'll talk about it on Comic Book Weekly come Tuesday in full spoiler detail. So definitely tune in for that. As Mike, Kat, and myself talking about this one, because I'm pretty sure we were all getting this one because it's Tony Fleeks writing it. But yeah, it was a pretty big twist. It got me excited about it. It's like, okay, I got to see where this goes now and how evil these kids really get. So it's going to be interesting, this series. But that is all the recap. So we're going to dive into some honorable mentions before we get into our rated books. All right, first honorable mention is Dynamite Blood Red issue number 1. This is another one of these. They're releasing these all through October, it seems, to tie in, to the spooky season and everything. This is Fred Van Lente and Marco Finnegan doing the writing and art chores on this one. This one does feature Vampirella. Let's see. Yeah, it's all about Vampirella and something about targeting this dead man virus that is strictly a boys club and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a big Vampirella fan, if you like these Dynamite books, check this one out. Next honorable mention is Disney Villains Maleficent. This is also from Dynamite Entertainment. Yeah, this one is written by Paulina Ganesho. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I apologize. With art by Theo Stoltz. And if you've been enjoying the Disney Villains books from Dynamite, this is another one to go sink your teeth into, especially if you're a big Maleficent fan. The cover looks pretty cool, I gotta say. Next up, we have Godzilla versus America, Kansas City. This one is from IDW. I don't read these, but if you're a big Godzilla fan, I want to make you aware that this one is releasing. Then we have Dick Tracy Halloween Special. This one is from Mad Gabe Studios. Of course, they have that Dick Tracy series. I kind of dropped off of it after a couple issues. It was just a little slow for my taste. But if you are a big fan, if you've been enjoying it, or if you're just a Dick Tracy fan or Halloween fan, I don't know. This has writers Michael Morisi, Alex Segura, and Chantel Amy Osman in it. So, some strong writing there with art by Craig Cermak, Mark Engler, and letters by Jim Campbell. So creative team, pretty solid. So check that one out as well. Then we have Universal Monsters Dracula Black and White Special issue number 1. So this is I believe this is the first issue of the Universal Monsters Dracula series, but it's a black and white edition. This is by James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons. Oh, it's actually the first two issues in black and white. So if you're a fan of this, if you want to check out the black and white version, definitely go pick this one up as well. And finally, our last honorable mention is Van Helsing, Throne of Blood, issue number 1. This is from Zenoscope. Speaking of Dracula, he has returned, and Liesel Van Helsing will stop at nothing to find him and put him back in the grave. And this one is written by Joe Brusha and Pat Shan. So there you go. That is our honorable. Sorry, I got tongue tied there. Honorable mention. So we're going to jump into those rated books now. All right, first up from AMP Comics, we have Stake Presents Jessamy, issue number 1. I believe this was kickstarted a while back. This is by David A. Byrne with art by Francesca Fantini, letters by Joel Rodriguez. I'm definitely familiar with the series. I've not read the series, but I'm familiar with it. I believe it used to be with Scout. Now it is with AMP Comics, and it takes place in the 18th century. There's rumors of monsters eating slaves, and it's spreading across the world. And tasked with protecting the fragile balance between humans and vampires, Jessamy has to uncover the truth behind a plantation cloaked in blood and myth. So this, for anybody that is a Stake fan, this is set 250 years before Angel, Stake, Beltran, Stinson's story began. So just for continuity's sake. For me, since I have not tried any of these, I'm going to give it a potentially good. Covers look pretty cool. All the covers look pretty solid. I've seen some of the art in the book. I know that there are a lot of fans of this book. So did I give it? Yeah, potentially good for me. Keeping with that spooky season theme, we've got Return to Sleepy Hollow, issue number 1. This is from IDW. And this is the continuation of Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. So if you're a big fan of that film, you'll definitely want to check this one out. This one is written by Casey Gilly with art by Savannah Mayer. And this is, it says this is a tale of buried truths, decaying bodies, and rotting gods. Headless Horseman has been, gone for 15 years, and I guess has come back. Ichabod Crane is a man of science, despite the indisputable brush with the supernatural. He's built a name for himself, debunking claims of, different things like that. So, but he receives this letter, which sets off this whole story. So again, if you're a big fan of Sleepy Hollow, check this one out. For me, I'm going to give this one a possibly good. I'm not familiar with the creative team, and when you continue stuff off of TV and movies, it can go either way. So just don't know until I see more about it. I haven't seen preview pages or anything, so possibly good. And real quick, before I talk about this next one, for anybody that is new to the show, I have a 4P ranking system. Possibly is the lowest, and positively is the highest. In between, you've got potentially and then promisingly. So it's just kind of a 1 out of 4 stars kind of thing, but it's all good stuff. So that's why it's called Only Good Comics, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. So now the next one we have to talk about is Cult of the Lamb Schism Special. Apparently there is a appropriately cult following of this book. I wasn't aware. This is from Oni Press. I'm not familiar with the story. This is written by Alex Packnadel from Astonishing X-Men, though, and art by Troy Little from Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons. So if you're a fan of either of those creators, you might want to check this one out. It says Lamb continues the bloody quest to defeat the bishops of the old faith, but they lack the conviction to tend their flock back at the cult. So it's one of those that mashes up kind of a cutesy art style with some dark, gritty supernatural horror stuff, I guess. So that's kind of, I love that kind of contrast in stories. So that's kind of pretty cool. Maybe I'll check this out at some point. For now, I'm going to give this one a potentially good. Next up from American Mythology is Ghoulies issue number 1. This is based on an 80s movie. I vaguely remember it. I don't think I ever watched it. I vaguely remember bits and pieces of it. Like promotional stuff and everything. So it's kind of in that time period where you had stuff like Gremlins and Goonies and Critters and all that stuff was coming out. So this is actually written by the screenwriter and president of Ghoulies Inc., Theo Lemasters. So that's pretty cool. So if you're a big fan of that movie, you might want to check this out. I'm guessing it's tied into, well, or maybe it's a modernization because it says there's a collection of ancient spells on the dark web. They conjure these filthy demonic creatures. So it's an updated version of this story for present times where we have the internet and everything. So that's kind of interesting. For me, I'm going to give this one a possibly good. Next, we have Marvel Rivals King in Black issue number 1. I have tried one of these Marvel Rivals books. I don't think I ended up finishing it. It was good. The art was fantastic. I just ran out of time to read it that particular week because I have to read books for Comic Book Weekly, and I never ended up going back to it. But this one, it's all about the King in Black. And if you're a big fan of the video game, this is one for you. If you're not reading this digitally, if you are reading it digitally from Marvel Infinity, this is issues 13 through 18 in print. So just be aware of that. But obviously, we're dealing with the symbiote king here, and we've got actually, it's Hela. So we know that in the comics that's going to be happening in the main continuity as well. We're going to get the Queen in Black, so it looks like Hela is coming into play in Marvel Rivals as well. So that's interesting. I was not aware of that. So I will give this one a potentially good. Then we have a series that I have been curious about since Mike Splatterslayer talked about it on an episode of Comic Book Weekly months ago, which is Barbaric from Vault Comics. This is a new series, Barbaric the Black Knight. And my understanding is the axe was passed down to another character from the previous one. So that's going to be interesting. In this one, it's an overlinked one-shot featuring Flail, the talking flail. And so it's a flail, not an axe. Sorry. It says Deadheart, Sarah, and Cobb return from their misadventures and Queen of Swords to defeat the evil witch Doxin once and for all. So yeah, if you're a big fan of the Barbaric series, you might want to check this one out. Eventually, I'm going to try out the first volume of this and see, if I like it or not. The concept as he explained it to us sounded pretty cool. It sounded like something that I would enjoy. So it's another one that goes on the reading list. So for now, though, I'm going to give this one a potentially good. Next up is a familiar book, The Beauty, from Ignition Press this time around. This is going to be a television series soon, produced by Ryan Murphy, who did Glee and a whole bunch of other stuff. And it'll be on FX this fall. This is written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason A. Hurley with art by Emanuela Lupacino, so it's going to be well written with gorgeous art. I have actually never read The Beauty. I don't know if this is like a new printing from a new publisher or if I'm misremembering and this wasn't out somewhere. I thought it was. But yeah, it's what happens when a new STD begins to spread, only this one is one that people actually want, and it changes them into more beautiful versions of themselves. The only hitch is a slight fever and, you die. So you got to decide whether beauty or death is the price to pay for beauty. It's that kind of thing. It's one of those, tough questions, a philosophical kind of thing. So pretty cool. I've only heard good things about this. So for this one, I am giving it a promisingly good. Next up from Dark Horse, we have Synthetics Volume 1, Issue 1. This is written by J. Michael Straczynski with art by Tony Parker. And this takes place on a dying Earth that all these rage gangs are around. So it's post-apocalyptic. And there's this cyber void and all this stuff. There's survival rests with this new kind of human who has just appeared out of nowhere, and you don't know if they're an angel, a devil, or Frankenstein's monster, what it is. You just know that they're different. So that's what this is all about. Kind of vague, kind of leaves a lot to the imagination, so I don't really know what to think about it. So I'm going to give it a potentially good. Then we have Thundercats Chitara Worldbreaker issue 1. That's a mouthful right there. This is a spin-off, obviously, from the Thundercats series. This is, I'm seeing if it told where it was set. It does say it's a historic new adventure that turns back the clock to a time when young Chitara's mystical connection to the Sixth Sense was brand new. So it's kind of following up from that Chitara miniseries, it sounds like. which I thought was really good. I don't know if this is the same creative team. It says it's from Nate Cosby and David Cousins. I don't remember if that was the team that did the previous. I don't think it was, but I could be wrong. And it says the Chitara is grappling with her new abilities. She's starting to master this power, but nothing can prepare her for the shattering discovery of who else is stealing their psychic link. So sounds like another good run for Chitara, so I'll check it out. And this one from me is getting a promisingly good. All right, getting into some mainstream stuff here. We've got Superman Red and Blue 2025 special issue number 1. This is written by Paul Dini and Dan Abnett with art by Caitlin Yarsky. And this is a one-shot as the series returns to put a cap on Superman's monumental year. Of course, been a lot of celebration of Superman this year. It says, witness the visions of the Man of Steel in the signature colors of red and blue. Yeah, it doesn't really tell you much about it. We also have other creators involved with this. We've got Michael Walsh from Exquisite Corpses making his DC debut. We've also got Rainbow Rowell. Sorry, I can't talk today. Rainbow Rowell. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me today. She is revisiting Lois and Clark. So you've got some backup stories in here. That could be fun. I like a lot of these creators. So yeah, I was kind of on the fence about this. I didn't realize there were other creators involved with it as well. So now I might check this one out. For now, I'm going to stick with potentially good though. Then from IDW, we have, speaking of specials and annuals and all of that, there are several this week. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2025 annual issue number 1. This is not by the current creative team, I don't believe, but it is following in with the story. It's a year after a year apart, and all their fight with District Attorney Hell and his foot patrol. The Turtles are back together, trying to rekindle those bonds that they had. But all the past, all the stuff is kind of looming in the background over their heads and everything. Donnie's still struggling, and the rest have to pull together. They have to train, share details of all their adventures in that year that they were apart, and all that stuff to try to get back on the same page and everything. So it seems like this is kind of a transitional story to set us up for the next arc, to get them back together and on point so they can face whatever's next. This is by Kenny Porter, who did Superboy, Man of Tomorrow, and DC Mech, and Michael Shelfer from Action Comics and NYX. For this one, I am giving it a potentially good as well. Let's talk about some more Age of Revelation books. We've got Cloak or Dagger, issue number 1 this time. And this is interesting. Obviously it's 10 years in the future. They are married now, but by being married, they have somehow lost their bond, and now they cannot exist on the same plane simultaneously. So they may be married, but they can never be together. They can never be with each other. So it's this tragedy. It's straight out of Shakespeare, this kind of thing. So that's terrible. But it says, they're reunited at last. But it's apparently they are fan favorite characters in Marvel Rivals. I did not know this. So that's kind of cool that they're kind of capitalizing on that. I didn't realize they had found kind of a second life through the game. But yeah, unfortunate story for them. This one is written by Justina Ireland with art by Lorenzo Tometa. I'm curious about this one, especially because of that kind of tragic love story. So I'm going to give this one a potentially good. Then we have Expatriate X-Men issue 1. This is the one with Miss Marvel. So I will be reading this one, of course. We also have Bronze from Exceptional X-Men, and Melee and Rift. And they are in Mississippi, apparently. They've seized control of the Mississippi River. Oh, these are the waters that divide mutant kind from the rest of humanity. And yeah, it seems like there's going to be a high-stakes mission as they're trying to rescue a valuable asset that threatens to tear them apart. Can they hold together when everything's on the line? This one is written by Eve Ewing with art by Francesco Mortarino. So yeah, because Miss Marvel's in it, I'm reading it. I'm kind of on the fence about it. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been blown away by Age of Revelation yet. So we'll see. For now, I'm going to stick with potentially good for this one. Next, we have Undeadpool issue number 1. And yeah, this is obviously set during the Age of Revelation in the Revelation territories. And Wade Wilson, well, he is finally a mutant, what he always wanted to be. But unfortunately, his healing factor is on overdrive, and it can't be sated. This hunger, this cancer that is growing within him, that is constantly eating away at his body because of his healing factor, it can't be sated. And now he's, I don't know, it looks like he's almost like the zombie Deadpool. It says he's ready to devour the life force of mutants. His next targets are Fearless, Magni, Kidman, Thing, and Fantastica. So they claim it's a Deadpool like we've never seen. This is written by Tim Seeley with art by Carlos Magno. Tim Seeley being attached to this, and the kind of story it is, dark and gritty version of Deadpool, sounds very interesting. And from what I've heard, it's not the inner monologue kind of out there Deadpool. So it's going to be interesting to see what version of Deadpool we're getting, what kind of character traits he has now. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this one at the very least. So I'm going to give this one a promisingly good. And the last of the Age of Revelation books is X-Vengers issue number 1. This one is written by Jason Liu with pencils by Sergio Fernandez, inks by R. Jimenez. And we are going to explore what happens when those who are left have transformed into mutants. Danny Moonstar is leading a new team of Hawkeye, Vision, Water Widow, and Shang-Chi, Variable Man, and Cannonball protect the planet. So interesting cast of characters there. Really curious to see how those particular characters came to be and what their whole mission is. At the same time, it's like, it feels like these are all the characters that we didn't know what to do with. So we'll see what happens with those. But for now, for this one, I'm going to give it a potentially good. All right, then we have Absolute Batman 2025 annual issue number 1. And this one is exciting because this is Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron telling tales from Absolute Batman's early days. It's just exciting because it's both of those creators, especially for me, Daniel Warren Johnson, huge fan of DWJ, Transformers, Do a Power Bomb, etc. Just fantastic creator. And yeah, we also see what it was like for Black Mask's party animals when Batman first hit the scene. So really excited for this one. Yeah, that's just gonna be a fun time, and to see how they handle the characters. And also, it looks like DWJ is doing art duties as well. So excited for that one quite a bit. So I'm going to give Absolute Batman a positively good because again, it's Daniel Warren Johnson. There's no way it's going to be bad. So there you go, in my opinion. And finally, one that I am so excited about that I just found out about recently. For some reason, this escaped, I don't know. I missed the news about this series happening until very recently. Supernatural issue number 1 from Dynamite Entertainment. I'm a huge fan of the series, watched every single episode, many episodes multiple times. It's one of my favorite series of all time. So I am very excited about this. This is written by Greg Pak with art by Eder Messias, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it also has covers, it's got a bunch of covers, but it's got Clayton Crane, David Cousins, also doing covers. We got a photo cover. We got different, like foils and different things like that, incentive covers, special incentive covers. And I believe there's also a blind bag for this one. If I'm not mistaken, something I saw said the blind bags were like $20 and they had like 2 or 3 different variants in them. I'm not positive on that. If anybody knows for sure, leave a comment below and let me know. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I do know that they are doing a blind bag variant for this one. And so that's pretty cool. I'm just excited about Supernatural coming back in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the series. And and it says this is set between the first and second season. So it is flashback stuff. It's not new stuff. Obviously, if you've watched the series, you know, I mean, they could figure out a way, but right now there's no way to make that happen. So, but yeah, that was an exciting time in their history. So I'm really looking forward to this. It says in this first issue they will uncover the entity responsible for a series of mysterious fires in a decaying Rust Belt town. Um, yeah, so I'm super excited about this one, and I'm giving this one a promisingly good. And yeah, I just can't wait for this one. This is I'm really pumped about this one actually because I love Supernatural. We've had a Supernatural comic before. It was pretty decent. But you know, since it's been a little bit since the show ended, this was just a pleasant surprise to be like, okay, nostalgia strong. This is a more recent nostalgia, but still very exciting, and can't wait to read some new adventures of Dean and Sam. But that is all of the new first issues. So as usual, I'm going to talk about a few other non-first books that I am excited about this week. Black Cat issue number 3 is the first one, and this has just been a really fun series. And this time we've got the Sandman making his making his mark on Black Cat's new heroic turn in this series. This is, of course, written by G. Willow Wilson with art by Gleb Melnikov. The first 2 issues were really solid, so I can't wait to read another. Then we have Feral issue number 17. This is the Battle for Pet City beginning. I just raved about a Tony Fleeks book earlier in this show, so definitely excited for another issue of Feral and a new, not really a new arc, but it is like the climax of that arc at Pet City. So where the fight is starting as Lucky and Elsie are leading this crew against Mother Helena. So we're going to see what that results in, who comes out on top. Then we have Knights issue number 16 is finally back. Knights is written by Wyatt Kennedy, who just kind of made history on Kickstarter with Murder Drone. It's like one of the top 5 comics funded on Kickstarter, like $1.5 million. We talked about it on Comic Book Weekly this past Tuesday. But he also writes this book, Knights, which I'm a fan of. I've read, and it's been on a little bit of a break, so it's finally back. And I'm excited for that. Then we have Emma Frost, the White Queen, issue number 5. I believe this is the final issue of this miniseries. This is a nostalgia flashback series to when she was part of the Hellfire Club and everything. And there's a traitor in the midst, and everybody was against Emma. And now the traitor has been revealed, and it calls it mutant on mutant mayhem here. So excited for that one as well. All new Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider issue number 3. A lot of hyphens in that title. It says this tantrum is going to throw you. We get the revelation of who this entity that has been taking out band members and terrorizing Spider-Gwen since this new volume started. And this character's name is Tantrum. And it, as the description says right there, so it's not spoiling anything, obviously, it is Gwen's former symbiote, which is what a lot of us probably speculated. And it's out for revenge because it feels abandoned. And this is written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Paolo Villanelli. I'm a huge fan of Stephanie Phillips' work, so absolutely excited for that. We've got a Halloween issue in Rockefellers issue number 10 this week, so that's going to be a fun time. There's one particular costume that looks pretty great since it's from the 25th century. We'll see how that plays out. Sounds like no trouble at all, right? Runaways issue number 5. Reunited Runaways for now. This is probably it is the finale. It's the heartbreaking finale, it calls it, of this miniseries that is tied into One World Under Doom. I'm sad to see this go, but it does say, what does the future hold for the Runaways? We will find out. Hopefully, good stuff. Hopefully, more series from Rainbow. But that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. And finally, Radiant Black issue 38. Chicago is in need of a hero. Gangs on the streets and superpowers in the suburbs. And anyone you can meet could be a secret double from a parallel world. And apparently this Jack Marlowe guy is going to give them a hero that he thinks they deserve. So we'll see what happens with that as well. And that is all the books that I have to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really had fun doing it and sharing it with you. So if you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss any of the content on this channel. Of course, you can follow me across social media at Only Good Comics, or type in onlygoodcomics.com to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics, and I'll see you soon.